Chris Matthews is going to make a passionate argument here for why you should have fewer choices when you go into the voting booth in November. Let's watch.
I think the libertarian thing is much more serious and worthy of attention because they're going to be on the ballot in all 50 states.
Yeah.
And they have their ticket. And
Can
Gary,
they get 15%?
well, no, Gary Johnson,
Exactly.
I don't know about that. Gary Johnson is known. Bill Weld is known. And Bill Weld is a smart guy. And both of these guys are fearless, I think. Gary Johnson and Bill Weld, through the wars of politics for 30 years, both of them, they're not going to be scared by Donald Trump. They've got nothing to lose.
Okay, they're not going to win electoral votes. They're not going to win electoral votes, so why are they running?
But no, I
They
think,
can take a
I
state
think you're
away.
underestimating a little bit about their appeal. If they're sitting at 10% right now and they have not been profiled or recognized nationally, the chance to get to 15% is very good, number one. Number two, I think...
Can they win states?
I don't know if they can win states, but that's really not, at this point, the objective. Okay, the objective here is to get to 15%. This is a step-by-step process for them.
But it's
right
not,
now,
it's
they're
not to get to 15%, it's to keep...
But
Do
they're
we
not
think
go-
a
but they're
country
not-
should be governed
folks,
by
they're not
somebody who
on the-
loses a three-way
they're
race?
not on the presidential
Is it
stage.
good for the country to be governed by somebody who loses a three-way race? What happens? Ralph Nader gets 92,000 votes in Florida. Al Gore loses Florida.
That's not what this is about.
But that's
what-
that's not what this is about.
Real choice
libertarian-
is between the top two.
Exactly.
So one of them will be president. The question is, don't we want honest voting? You vote for the person you want against the other person. You start voting for third or fourth party candidates. You are not actually deciding who
Chris,
you want
but
for president.
also votes.
They do.
Why don't you remind me of siphoning gas out of somebody's car? It just seems like you're taking the power out of one of the two candidates. If you don't like Trump, vote for Hillary. Anyway.
It's amazing how he's such a shill for the establishment and he has no clue. Like, he doesn't know that that's what he's doing, that he's serving power. And he's serving this corrupt two-party system where it's really just two factions or two wings of the same party, the corporate party. It's so sad. So my response to Chris Matthews would be, hey, dickhead, do your job. So you know what that means? That means that your job, since you're in the news business, is to go out there and tell people the policy positions of Jill Stein, for example, who's running on the Green Party ticket. Gary Johnson, who's running on the Libertarian Party ticket. Your job is to go out there and give people information and data and facts about these people. And by the way, you know what else you should do? You should discuss in detail the roadblocks that have been put up for people like this by the establishment. If you run third party or you run independent, it's a son of a bitch to get on the ballot in various states. It's really hard to get into the debates, for example, because the two parties have controlled the process. This goes back to Ross Perot, guys. So when Perot did really, really well running as an independent, the parties came together and they said, okay, we got to stop these insurgent candidates who actually come up and say stuff that's interesting and might ruin our iron grip on power. So what we're going to do is they made it so the debates used to be hosted by the League of Women Voters, and it was an open forum. And then they made it so that the two parties came together and they control who comes into the debates. And guess what? They don't allow in independent candidates. They don't allow in third-party candidates. And then they make up these rules after the fact. They go, oh, yeah, in order to get into the debate, you have to be polling at 5%. And then oftentimes what happens is the person who's third party or independent will start polling at over 5%, and then they just move the goalposts. Did we say 5%? We meant you have to be polling at over 10%. And then, you know, sometimes they do pass that, and then it's, well, now it's 15%, and they just keep moving the goalposts, keep moving the goalposts, keep moving the goalposts, and then at the end of it, you have idiots like Chris Matthews in the mainstream media like, why are you complaining? You have two choices. Pick from the two choices. What are you talking about? We should have a system where you vote for the person who you want to win. Yeah, that would be an argument to allow third-party candidates in. That would be an argument to allow independents in. He thinks he's making an argument for his side. With that point, he's not. He's making the opposite point. Guess what? A lot of people look at Hillary Clinton, they go, I don't like her at all. They look at Donald Trump and go, I don't like him at all. Well, wouldn't it be nice if they did have an option when they go into the voting booth where they can pick somebody who's on the ballot, you know, who's either Green Party, Libertarian Party, or independent? But no. Instead of doing his job and telling you the facts on the different candidates, instead of explaining the roadblocks set up by the establishment to keep this corrupt grip on power, what does he do? He serves the powerful, he serves the establishment, and he does it under the guise of, oh, I'm just keeping it real. They don't have much of a shot. Well, maybe one of the main reasons why they don't have much of a shot is because people like you in the media don't do your fucking job, don't highlight the problems, and then we don't get reform because you're not doing your fucking job. If you did your job, if you gave these guys a fair shot, if you spoke about their policy positions, if you spoke about the corruption in the system that keeps them shunned and blocked out, well, then maybe we could get reform and maybe they would have a shot. But no. Serve the powerful, serve the establishment, don't even realize that you're doing it and pretend like you're the one who's keeping it real. And instead of having a conversation about their policy positions, smugly dismiss them and say, yeah, no chance, next segment.